Could you please confirm if I'm audible? Okay. All right. Thank you. Good evening once again. Thank you all for registering and attending this one-week national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research, organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, IQAC, and the exam cells of St. John Technical and Education Campus, Palgar, in association with IPSR Solutions Limited. Now, today we would like to welcome Dr. Sunil Job, Director, Educational Research and Development, Marian College, Kuttikkanam Autonomous, and he's also the Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. He will be the resource person for today. And we would also like to welcome Dr. Norman Rebello, HOD, Pharmacy, St. John Institute of Pharmacy and Research, who will be giving the gist of learning and the word of thanks at the end. And we would like to welcome all the FDP resource persons, managers, directors, principals, vice principals, representatives from management, HODs, IQSC coordinators, and all faculty members. Now, about this FDP, this is a one-week FDP program with live sessions from the timing of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we expect you to be present on all the days. This is actually our second day of the FDP. There is no fee for this FDP. All the participants will receive the LMS access, the video recording for all the days, and the provision to download your FDP completion certificate. The procedure for receiving the certificate will be informed to you towards the end of the FDP. If you are unable to attend any of the live sessions, they will be available in the LMS. We have shared LMS access details through email to those who have registered till afternoon. Those who have registered after that will receive the LMS access details by tomorrow. If you have any trouble in attending the WebEx online session, you can also join the YouTube live session, the link of which I've already put in the channel. Now, my name is Sunil Jacob George. I'm working as Global Relations Manager with IPSR Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, before we move on to the session, could you all please turn on your video so that we could take a screenshot for our documentation purpose? Yeah, it would be good if you could turn on your videos. All right, we will proceed to the next session. That will be the technical session. And the topic is going to be architecture of OBE and design of outcomes. Those who are not presenting, could you please turn off your videos so that it doesn't consume bandwidth? Okay. Okay. Now, today's topic, architecture of OBE and design of outcomes, is going to be delivered by Dr. Sunil Job K.A, Chief of Academic Solutions IPSR, and he's also the Director, Education Research and Development, Marian College, Kuttikkanam Autonomous. Now, Dr. Sunil Job has 30 plus years of experience in teaching and 10 plus years in corporate consultancy. He holds a PhD in mathematical education and has been an associate professor at MG University College of Teacher Education from 1999. He has started his career as assistant professor at Karmela Rani Training College, Kollam. He has served as visiting team member of NCTE for grant of recognition and as a resource person for the affiliation renewal committee of MG University. He is an active blogger in cutting edge technologies, IT, education, and data science. Dr. Job has published many articles in national journals and authored many academic books and a reference manual in mathematics. He has served as resource person for a number of faculty development programs in outcome-based education, data science, e-learning, etc. Currently, he is serving as Director, Educational Research and Development, Marian College, Kuttikkanam Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. Over to you, Sunil sir.
Okay, Sujin, am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, Sujin, thank you, Sujin, for your wonderful introduction. And a very good evening to one and all. And hope all of you are having a very pleasant evening. So this is our second day of our FDP program. And I understand that last day you had a very wonderful section on learning domains, Bloom's Taxonomy by Dr. Mendes Jacob. And obviously, that is really the soul of what you could say that outcome-based education. Not only in an outcome-based educational scenario, but if you are in a teaching scenario, definitely that will be the leading light that takes you through the right decisions or that gives you an environment to make the right choice in your teaching learning process. So that is something very, very important as a teacher, as well as when you are trying to bring outcome-based education in a very successful way. So today, obviously, as already mentioned, this is the first section on introduction to outcome-based education. Obviously, last day you had a wonderful section on Bloom's taxonomy. Today we will be starting with the outcome-based education. And the upcoming sections, we'll be having more and more sections on assessments, on how to make assessments, about the tools that may help you to make the right assessments in an outcome-based scenario. And obviously, you'll be having a sections on what you could say AI, how you can integrate AI into not only outcome-based education but also in the research frontiers. Likewise, you have got a lot of good stuff to come in this national FTP. So without much an introduction, let me go into my today's presentation. I've got a few slides to share with you. So I just keeping my video close because of the sometimes probably it can happen that there are some network issues. Sijan, once again, is my screen okay? Is it visible?
Yeah, visible.
It's visible. Okay. Okay. So we shall go with the today's technical sections. So as I've mentioned in my small introduction, we'll be having the first segment on outcome-based education and assessment. Probably we will be more focusing on this outcome-based education. So before going into the section, obviously it will be very good to know what we will be having for today. So obviously these are the elements which comes in the agenda for today. That is why of OBE. Because if you want to go into anything wholeheartedly, definitely you should get a very concrete answer for why this is significant. Obviously, there is a answer that if you want to go in lines with NP 2020, definitely you cannot move away from outcome-based education. Rather than that, beyond that, what is the real essence? Why do we need OBE? Not from an NP perspective, but from an quality perspective. Why do we need OBE? That will be discussed in the first two slides. And obviously, we'll be just, since it is an introduction section on outcome-based education, we should go into the principles of OBE, paradigm shift, learning map of OBE. And these are the, what comes next is the different components related to OBE, that is program educational objectives, program outcomes, course outcomes, then comparison of outcomes, quality check of a good outcome. So these are some of the main highlights that we are going to have for today. So what I would like to say prior to our presentations, I would like to say that I want to take the section in an interactive way. So sometimes in between, I may pose some questions which I'll be expecting answers in the chat. And obviously, what I came to know from this the team that there are about 5,000 participants who have been registered, and many participants are here in the online platform, as well as in the there is also live streaming of this section, so there is also there. So if you have any queries here after this, you will be having a segment to discuss with the queries, as well as those who are in the live stream also. We'll be picking up your queries from there, and we'll be answering it right here. And obviously, as already informed, these sections will be also available in the LMS. Probably you would have got that link for the LMS. So here we go with the first question: why OBE? So this is one of the slides which normally in most of my presentation I used to pitch the OBE in terms of its what you could say its importance or its significance. Actually, this is one of the slides which I have taken from a study report which has been published in a higher education journal, that is Enhancing University Education. Actually, this is a study which has been conducted at this professional college, at a professional college level. It is an experimental study. So this slide depict the result of the a study of the from a professional college. It's an engineering college. So referring to this figure, obviously you will be able to figure out about what you can say about the what I could say is the result part. What can you say about the result part? You can put it in the chat. I'm just looking into the chat for your response. Is it a good result or not? Only in terms of result. In terms of pass percentage, what is the pass percentage you can observe in this study? Yes, I'm just, you can put it in chat. I want to take it as an interactive one. Okay, there is one coming. It has 84% passed. Only 84. You can just check it again. What percentage passed? Okay, there is a different opinion. 91% has come. Very good, very good, very good. At the first observation, you may we will be tempted to write 84%. Obviously, when you go a little more deeper, obviously 91% pass. So for a professional course, especially we know that in a professional course, there is some very possibility of getting these back papers, backlogs and all. In the stipulated time, 91% of the students passed means it is a good result. So result wise in the sense academical score wise, 91% of the students passed. This is the line of bifurcation. Beyond this, 84% plus 7%, 91% has passed. Only 9% has couldn't qualify at the right time. But this is an experimental study. So these students, both the passed as well as failed, were being exposed to some real-time task which is related to their trade of study. Obviously, we know that for in an engineering college or professional colleges, the students are being prepared professionally to meet the work requirement of the industry. So they will be setting the curriculum in lines of the industry. But when they are given some type of activities related to the trade that they have been preparing, only 7% of the students will could successfully complete it. That is why the 7% has been detached from 91 and is written here. So we could see that according to that particular experimental study, what we could see that this is the three clusters that has happened in that study. One is that they didn't pass the examination, neither they couldn't do the task which has been given to them related to the field of study. The 84%, they have passed the examination, academically good, they have passed. But what happens is that they are not able to successfully complete or they could not meet the requirement of the workspace requirement which was given to them in an experimental scenario. And only 7% could qualify for both examinations, as well as they having that much of competencies through which they are able to do the required the industrial requirement, isn't it? So this is the fallacy of an educational system which has been happening. That is about 84 plus 84 plus 9. That is 93% of the students are passing out of the college as confused graduate, though 84% from them are qualified for the exams. Only 7% are job fit. This is something has come in the recent years. The CEOs of great this top players, top companies says that most of the students passing out of the Indian university are not directly employable. They have to invest more resources to skill up to meet the requirement of their workspace. So this is the fallacy, because they have been trained for 4 years in a professional platform, equipping them for this. So this is the fallacy of the educational system. So what you could see is that they are successful in the x-axis academically, but there is something which is going up. What is that? That is the y-axis, which is the set of competencies which makes them successful in their life and career. I repeat, the y-axis, they can't able to take up the particular task which has been given to them, because they don't have the skill or competency to do that particular piece of work which has been given in the lines of their field of study or in the workspace. So academically, they have got the qualifying marks for all the exams, the subjects that they have studied, but they are lacking in competencies that makes them successful in their life and career. So outcome-based education is something which is intended to integrate both the academical knowledge, the academical informations and knowledge, as well as we have to prioritize that particular skills that makes them successful in their job as well as in their life. So in an outcome-based education, we are not traveling in an x-axis horizontal direction. We are traveling in a slanting direction. That is, while they progress through the academical stream, they should be having a sound knowledge in their subject area, as well as they should be skilling up to make the challenges of both the life as well as the industry to which they are being prepared for. So what we want is that we have to shift both this 9% as well as this 84% into this particular quadrant or this particular cluster, and we want to make this 100 and we want to make this area blank. That is something that is the focus of the outcome-based education. We want to change the scenario like this. We want to change the scenario. If you want to change the scenario like this, they should be successful in their subject. They should be having sufficient knowledge, as well as they should be having that much of competencies to make them successful in their life and career. That is why in an outcome-based scenario, we give priority to program outcomes. What are program outcomes? We'll be discussing it in the later slides. The program outcomes are nothing but the set of competencies or our y-axis, which may include communication skills, problem-solving ability, the ability to work together, lifelong learning, all these things integrated together will make them successful in their career. So we want both these POs as well as our knowledge should go hand in hand harmoniously so that they become successful. So obviously now I don't think that there is no other slide that can pitch the outcome-based education's significance in a better way. So now I think I want. I'm sure that this outcome-based education is not new to you. You are familiar with this outcome-based education, and obviously I know that you have come into this group to refresh what you are learning, or if you could get something, some additional inputs, if you could get from the technological front, is obviously I know. So it is because of that I am giving one particular question here for you to answer. The question is, what is the what is the most important question education should answer in an outcome based scenario? I have given three options. That is, when we are taking our classes in an outcome based format or a framework, what should we give importance? Out of this, what is our priority? That is, what did we teach? Is that our priority? Or what did students learn? Or how well did students perform? Three questions. Which one is important in an outcome-based scenario? Just you can scan this, or you can take your Google Chrome, the web browser. You can type menti.com, menti.com. Obviously, you will be prompted to enter your code. The code is 361200721. Or you can directly click this one. You can directly click, not click, you can type tinyurl.com, tinyurl.com slash 5ATTNXJH. If you type, because I have just reduced that URL, that is why through a tiny URL interface. So tiny URL slash 5ATTNXJH, or there are three options. So you'll be prompted with three questions. These are the three questions. You can select one and submit. So it is coming. It is coming. You can enter menti.com, www.menti.com, and you can enter the code 361200721. Okay, you can keep on answering, but this is not a paid version, so I don't think that. I fear that there is sometimes a limitations. Those who come first could be projected here. So if you want to scan it again, you can scan it. Then I will change it to that our poll result. Scan it, or www.menti.com, and you can write this code 361200721. Or if you want to directly type tinyurl.com slash 5ATTNXJH. Three options. Whatever is compatible, you can just fix. I think 107 of you have entered into this poll. Okay, I think 142 of you have entered. You can poll it. I got 132 result as of now. Let me check it out, and then we can have a discussion on what is your opinion. Okay. I think we will go with this result. This is the trend. Just like we are watching during the election counting. I think this trend will be stable. Uh, so let us have a discussion on what is the educational priority in outcome-based education. This is what is in your mind. We have got 8% who have given that answer. What did we teach? So this is our traditional perspective. That is, the teacher is more focusing on whether I have completed my portion, isn't it?
Sunil sir, can I just interrupt you?
Pardon?
Are you presenting your screen?
Yeah.
I don't think your screen is visible now.
The screen is not visible.
No.
Which one? Both.
Yeah, you're not visible and your screen is.
Is this visible?
No, not yet. Screen is gone off.
Let me check it out. Let me
Yeah,
check
just
it out.
just turn it off maybe.
I think here there is something issues has happened.
Participants, could you please keep your video turned off so that it doesn't consume the bandwidth? Okay, so
Okay. Is it now okay?
Yeah, it's coming now.
Now it's okay.
Yeah, it's
okay. Sujit, please, because there are some issues with connectivity, and I think more participants are there. So
yeah, the rest of the participants, please keep your video turned off. Okay, don't switch it on because that will consume.
Yeah, that's fine because I also switched off my video because I know that.
Now your screen is visible. Yeah,
this is okay now. Okay. Yeah. So this is the polling result that we have got so far. So the first one is what did we teach? And I think we have got 8% opting for that. What did we teach? Because when we come to an outcome-based education, what did we teach is not the highest priority, because the teachers are focusing on the content that we are teaching. Whether I have taught what you could say as per the syllabus, is my syllabus complete? So that is our old vision. That is whether I have completed the syllabus, all these things. That is important, but when you come to an outcome-based education scenario, the priority is not on that. And we got the maximum for how well did students perform. How will you know how well the students perform? That is important in an outcome-based scenario, but how well is focusing on mark, isn't it? Who got the highest? How well? Who is the top scorer? Isn't it? In an outcome-based education, that also is only the second priority. In an outcome-based education, what we need is that we want every students to come beyond the benchmark. That benchmark is what we call target. When we frame an outcome-based curriculum, we set a benchmark for outcome. So we want everyone to cross that benchmark. That minimum benchmark is that whether that benchmark will indicate whether they have learned that essential level in an outcome-based framework. So in the outcome-based framework, as teachers, we have to capitalize our priority on everyone should attain the minimum benchmark that you set as target. Who has become the highest is there. But for an outcome-based education, we want everyone to cross that benchmark. So priority should be on whether all the students are going beyond the benchmark. If some of them are not able to scale that benchmark, then give them additional effort or additional treatment so that they qualify that benchmark. And benchmark shows that their essential learning, what they are expected from. So this is the scenario. This is the scenario that we have to focus. So yeah, outcome-based education is not about who gets the top post. No, it is not about what we have completed, whether I have completed this or that. In an outcome-based education, the indicator is that how do they perform, whether they are qualifying the benchmark. So the success of the outcome-based education is that 100% of the students should qualify the benchmark. It is not what percentage is coming at the top level. That is important, but it is of second priority only. So this is something we have to focus on. The outcome-based education want everyone to move beyond the targets which we set in corresponding to every outcomes. I think it is clear. So outcome-based education is not what you teach. It's not what you teach. It's what about what the students learn and what they can do with that learning. That is what. So shift, there's a paradigm shift from teachers' priority, what we teach, whether I have completed, I have done my work. That is not. We have to focus from the students' perspective, what they have learned, and with that learning, what they are capable of doing. That is what a outcome-based education focuses. So with that scenario, you can just read this word. Obviously, since it is an introductory section, I've just taken one, what you could say, a text from what is outcome-based education. So outcome-based education that deviates from the traditional focus. Deviates from the traditional focus. Now I think it is clear what is the deviation, isn't it? It is not, we are not focusing on whether the teachers has completed the syllabus, isn't it? Isn't it? The previous slide is about what is the deviation about, isn't it? So deviation from the traditional focus on what the institution provide to the students in favor of making the student demonstrate that they know and able to do. So that is the focus of outcome-based education. That is, they know and able to do. We want every students to know what we are teaching and able to do with what we are teaching. That is, we have to capitalize on whether all of them are learning. So that is the paradigm shift in an outcome-based education. So obviously, these are the four, what you could say, the principles of outcome-based education. That is the clarity of focus. Because before starting, you are just pulling out what the student should be able to do on completion of your class. So the end point is clear and vivid at the beginning of the class itself, isn't it? What should happen at the end, what the students are capable of doing at the end of the class or end of the course is predefined in very crispy, in a very precise and concise manner. So there is a clarity on what all activity should I take so that this is attained, constructive alignment, isn't it? So there is a clarity of focus. There is a clarity of focus. And designing down means when you know where we have to reach, then we can trace route our curriculum in such a way that what is the shortest method and what is the most effective method to reach the destination, that could be identified, because the end point is clear and crisp. Isn't it? There is a pukka clarity on what the student should be able to do at the end of the class. So you can pick up that activities that will make them do that, what you have prefixed. So high clarity and high expectations in the sense, it is something challenging. The teacher's role is not just going through the syllabus in the normal format. It is challenging. At times, you have to adjust your classes according to the students' responses, isn't it? So there is not a one-way traffic. We have to just always observe what the students are doing, what is their challenge, what is their difficulty, and we have to customize it so that then only you will be able to attain the final target. So it is challenging from the part of the teachers. And expanded opportunities means that in the real Spady, we know that he is the father of outcome-based education. In the Spady's journal, actually, this outcome-based education idea has come out. Firstly, he has published a paper in a journal. It is from that this has evolved. So in that paper, I've just gone through that paper. He has very specifically says that the teacher following outcome-based education should not mark their score, should not mark the students' score in pen. They should mark the students' score in pencil. Why? Because you should be able to rub it and that is give him a chances to redo it, and we should be giving additional chances so that they will be able to attain the minimum level. That is why in that slide I've told that it is not who scores the highest, isn't it? The marks, the highest mark. It is all about whether he has learned and able to attain the minimum benchmark. And that is what in an outcome-based education. Expanded opportunity. We have to give them more and more chances. There is no final that is, we have to give them formative assessment. The formative assessment in the sense we are assessing them to check whether they have attained the target. If not, give them additional treatment and take them to that particular level. That is what in an outcome-based classroom should be like. So this is very important. I will just give you an example. Suppose if you are asked to arrange a 3 days tour program, 3 days tour program. Suppose if if I say that okay, you can take the students to a 3-day program. You can have such and such budget. You can give them a 2-star accommodation or these menus, just like that. And secondly, I would say that you can give, you can take the students like that. When they complete the tour program, they should be able to have a clear clarity on the culture and living of the particular place. Isn't it? The first scenario is that take them to a tour, to a village area, and these are the sum of our what I could say that limitations, or these are some of our that you can do in terms of this is the total budget, this is the type of accommodation you should give, like that you are giving them a list. The second one, you are giving them only one thing. You can take them, and by the end of the tour program, they should have a clarity on the culture and practices of that particular area or something like that, or the historical significance of that particular area or something like that. So you can just find the difference. The first one is that just tick mark. Okay, the target. That means whether we should take them with such and such budget. So we have to restrict our expenses in such and such way. All these things are the priority, just like completing the syllabus. The other thing is that we are focusing on what the students are gaining. The first one is that we are focusing on what the total expense. This is the criteria that is the accommodation should be a 2-star. We are giving such and such things priority. Inputs. What are the inputs that is given to the college, to the tour program? We are focusing a list of inputs that can be given for a program. And what is the second one? The same program should be conducted, and you are focusing on what is the output that field trip or educational tour brings out in the students. Are they both same? No, definitely not. The first one is the normal way. That is, we are focusing on input. These are the inputs. We have to complete the tour in the lines of these inputs. So the priority is that. The second one is that the priority is not on the input, but the output, what the student should gain. This is what outcome-based education. So when you're organizing the tour, your focus is that when the students complete the tour, they should have a clarity on the historical perspective of the particular region, or they should have a clarity on their culture. So you will be focusing on those activities that make them to that particular level. So this is the difference. So teaching with the first line, you will be focusing on completing the syllabus or something like that, all the outer things. But when you come to an outcome-based education, teaching them with a purpose from the student's perspective. That is the difference. That is why there is a clarity of focus. So when that outcome is right there, you can customize your tour program in such a way that by the end of the tour, the students are able to have a clarity on the historical perspectives. Isn't it? That is a real, what I could say, an explanation. You're teaching with an outcome and without an outcome. Okay, focusing only on budget, the accommodation, such and such food, 3 times food, all these things are our priorities. The other, what their gain from students' perspective. So this is what the importance of outcome-based education. Does it make a difference? Definitely, isn't it? There is a clarity of focus. When that clarity of focus is there, there is no need for the teachers to say what to do, isn't it? You will be designing your activities. You will be designing your activities in the lines of this focus, isn't it? So this is not an easy thing. It is challenging to the teachers to arrange that activities to meet the outcome. The first one is not challenging, just what I could say, taking it in an input manner, isn't it? So that is the difference between teaching with outcome based and teaching without outcome based. So I'm taking you through the different slides. Why? Because the first one is about the outcome-based education is an integration of competencies and academics. The second one is about what is our priority. And the third one, the example which I've given is that teaching with outcome and teaching without outcome is just like taking the student for the tour by giving them a list that these are the things which you should give to the students. And the second one, giving them an outcome and preparing the tour. Okay. So the next one, what I would like to say is that in an outcome-based education, this is one which is taken from a journal that is OBE emphasizes the achievement of the outcomes. What does it emphasize? That is, what will my students do out there in the real world of family, work, and community as a result of what we give in here in my classroom. So the success of the outcome-based education lies on connecting what the students should be able to do out there in the real world family. That means in his personal life, in his workspace, and in the community as a result of what we do in here. So it is very clearly said that when you're framing a curriculum for an outcome-based education, you should lessen the gap between what do they have to face in the real world, as well as what do they do as a part of the curriculum. There should be a real connection between what you give as a part of curriculum as well as what their students are able to do out in the real world. So that is why when we speak about outcome-based education, we should teach them with an authentic curriculum, the curriculum which is correlated with life situations, the curriculum which is correlated with workspaces, the curriculum which makes them accountable to the community. That should be the part of the curriculum. So the curriculum should be a slice of what they do out there. So what they do in here is the curriculum. In the college, what the students do in here is the curriculum in the college. So what they do in here should be a slice of what they do out there when they move out. So this is the outcome-based education. If they are not able to do what they are expected to do out there, if they are not able to connect it with what they gain from here, then our education is really a failure. That is what really happened in the first slide. They are not able to do what they expected to do in the workspace from what they gained in the college. So out there and in here is not connected. That was the fallacy that you found in the first slide. So when you're framing outcome-based education syllabus, whatever you teach should be industry relevant. Whatever you teach should make them socially accountable. And whatever you teach them should make them, prepare them for a good life. And out there, so what should happen out there is crystallined into our program outcomes. The program outcomes are not coming from air. It is coming from what the students have to do out there. It is filtered from that and showcased as program outcomes. And when the students leave our institutions, when they beat the program outcomes, they move out as very confident graduates who are able to meet any challenges in the real world of life and challenge, real world of life as well as in the workspace. So I think it is a long time that we had any questions. So this is the paradigm shift in OBE, the paradigm shift. Actually, this is not the professor, right? This is not the professor. It's a scholar. In the first image is the scholar. First image is the scholar in the traditional educational system, what we give priority. And this is what the contemporary educational system or the outcome-based education focuses. So can you just share what is the paradigm shift? What is the paradigm shift here? You can put it in chat. What is the paradigm shift over here? Yeah, I'm very happy with this group. At the moment I say something, you are responding. That means we are in rapport. Very good. I appreciate it and I like it very much. Multitasking. Oh, obviously, I will say one time, no, I was asking the same question to a different group. Maybe a group who is having the sense of humor. They said that, sir, in the first traditional system, that guy, the scholar is not having the specs, and the second system, that guy is having a specs, and that's a critical difference that I have found from this. So really, that was an offline section, and I personally having a specs. So I was very that was a very funny answer, and also a thought provoking also. So obviously, what you have said is very right, because in the traditional system, we want them to be successful in the exams. We want them to get the top scoring. That is, who scores the top is being glorified. All these things are the traditional priorities. That is why in that slide I told that completing the teaching or top performance is not a priority. What they learn is priority. And here in the outcome-based education, the scholar should be multitaskers. That do not mean that they should not be sound in their academical platforms. Obviously, the academical knowledge is important. But equally important is the other activities, like the ability to use the new technologies. You can see a bulb there. What is that? Creative thinking and ability to solve the problems, time management, entrepreneur, the entrepreneur ability, how to pitch something in the real market, like that. If you want to be an entrepreneur, communication skills likewise, and don't forget to take a cup of coffee. Obviously, it becomes complete only when they are able to know how to take their leisure hours in the right way. Obviously, so this is what the contemporary educational system want our scholars to be. Okay, so the priority is there in the knowledge, obviously, because now we know that the entire knowledge bank is there in our fingertip, in the fingertip. That is obviously now when AI has filtered into our scenarios, we can get anything if you give a good prompt, isn't it? So that is the revolution that has been happening today. So the knowledge alone, putting everything into the mind and going with big heads is not something that the society wants in the current scenario. We want them how to fix an issue, how to be a better entrepreneur, or how to manage your time, the project management, how to evaluate the things, isn't it? How to evaluate the things. Likewise, we want the multiple competencies integrated to one. That is what in the first slide, what I could say, the y-axis. Y-axis is a set of competencies that makes them multitaskers. So obviously, it is very clear. Now going into the framework of outcome-based education. This is what you could say the learning map of an outcome-based education. When I say learning map, when you an institution, every institution is having a vision and mission. Obviously, when we go for accreditation purpose and all, definitely this board, vision and mission, will become highly glorified, and it will be showcased at a very central position of where our look reaches. Obviously, so every institution has got a vision and mission, and whatever activities that happens in that institution or the modus of operandi will definitely lie in the lines of our vision and mission. Definitely, it will be in that way. So there will be a well-defined vision and mission, and below that there will be a clear-cut program educational objectives. This is the only odd man objective. This is the only odd man in an outcome-based family. Outcomes. The rest of them are all outcomes. End the product. This is only the only objective. This is nothing but program educational objectives are nothing but what are the educational goals. What are the educational goals that the educational institution should prioritize? That is the educational goals. Okay, so obviously the vision and mission and educational goals will be connected, isn't it? Because our priorities will be in lines with our values, our vision and mission. So these educational goals, what the educational goals that our institution should prioritize will be in lines of the vision and mission. And not only our vision and mission, it should be also taking into consideration of the voice of the society, because the ultimate stakeholders are the society. So listening to the society, that is taking up feedbacks in an outcome-based scenario, not only in the outcome-based scenario, in whatever, in the new educational scenarios, feedback is something important. Planning without feedback will definitely lead to a big collapse. So when we are planning an educational objectives, obviously it will be in lines of a vision and mission, and also the voice of the stakeholders will be taken into consideration. So this is the educational objectives, and it is on this basis of these educational objectives we plan. Sorry, I'm having some inhale. Sorry. So program outcomes. So based on the educational objectives, we will be planning that we means the college will be planning what are the appropriate competencies. So these are the educational objectives in the means educational goals. What should be the educational goals? And the program outcomes will be what are the competencies which is essential for fulfilling these educational objectives, isn't it? So the technical word for that will be graduate attribute, and graduate attribute written in the form of what the students are capable of doing with that graduate attribute or competencies, we call it as program outcome. So just see the connection. So this is the goal. This is the goal. So what are the competencies that make the students successfully achieve this goal is filtered from this as program outcomes. So in our colleges, we will be having a set of program outcomes showcased. What does that mean? That means when a student complete a program from your college and leave out, they should be able to perform in the lines of the program outcomes, isn't it? If your program outcome is having communication skills, all the students passing out should have that targeted level of communication skill. If your program outcome is having a competency like entrepreneurship, definitely all the students passing out should attain the minimum level which has been showcased as target in lines of entrepreneurship like that. So definitely program outcomes are what? They are the set of competencies that the students should be able to attain while they live. But how do we attain these program outcomes? Through a set of courses, and curricular and co-curricular activities that we give as a part of curriculum. So definitely all the courses should be in lines of the different program outcomes. If you are having a program outcome, sustainability values, your course activities should be related to sustainability values. Entrepreneurship, definitely such programs should be included here as a part of the curricular activities to the curriculum. So the course outcomes are, since it is an outcome-based program, we will be filtering out the course outcomes in the lines of the program outcomes. And micro learning outcome means that these course outcomes are attained through day-by-day activity. So every day when you go to your classes, or every day when you give some activities, you should have some micro outcome which is connected with these course outcomes. So see how the outcome is flowing down. This is designing down, the second principle which comes into action in a functional way, isn't it? So while formulation, definitely this is the process that has happened while you're created. And assessment is something that goes from bottom to top. Assessment is something that goes from bottom to top. That is by the different activities as well as examinations, we will be ascertaining the course level attainment, CO level attainment. And we know that all these COs will be connected with some program outcomes beyond that, isn't it? So the scores that the students attain for the course level attainment will be used for calculating program level attainment. And when the program level attainment is calculated, then definitely every student should attain the minimum targeted level of each program outcomes, isn't it? So when they attain that particular level of program outcomes, definitely they will be able to live successfully in the lines of your educational expectations, or what you could say, educational objectives. See how beautifully it is been formulated from top to down. And assessment, you are assessing from the course level, course outcomes. With the scores obtained from the course outcome, you are calculating program level outcomes, and program level outcomes are indicator that they will be successfully actualizing the goals which is prefixed prior to that. And the outcome-based ecosystem, or the outcome-based ecosystem will take the feedback from the alumni, as well as they will take the feedback from the what you could say, their work, that is from the work platforms that they are working with, from the CEOs of the working with, in order to check whether their program outcomes, their scores that they have attained for the program outcomes, and the level of performance that they are expected to achieve through their educational goals are in the same line. So this feedback is again used for improvising the quality of our curriculum. So this is the chain that should happen. So obviously the outcome-based education is connected with the Q factor of the educational system. So definitely, if you are implementing the outcome-based education in its right way, then there is nothing else to be added to make your educational system more higher in quality. Because the outcome-based education, if it is done in the right way, definitely that will enhance the quality, as well as that will enhance the productivity of the students while they go into the social spectrum. So that is what outcome-based education priority and focus. The thing is that do it in the right sense. So doing it in the right sense, all these outcome formulations, calculations, all these things are secondary. The life of the outcome-based education happens on how you're pitching the outcome-based educational curriculum to the students in the classroom. So the innovative techniques, the authentic assessments are something that gives life to the outcome-based education. The other things are ornamental, assessing it, outcome-based education. Oh, this is the score, this is the calculation, 90% came, some analytical frameworks. All these things are ornamental. The real life of the outcome-based education is that how well you are planning your outcomes and how well you are taking the students to that outcomes and how well you are performing your formative assessments and how well you are doing your assessments in an authentic manner, authentic assessments. That is the life of outcome-based education. The other thing is there important because if you want to put some what you could say documents for in front of that these accreditation agencies and other agencies, obviously you want some documentations. All these things should be there. But the ultimate quality that reaches the students is only when you are integrating the right approaches, the right techniques in your pedagogical approaches, your assessment approaches. That will make that will breathe life into the outcome-based education in the right way, definitely. So because the assessments in an outcome-based education is something very important. That is not how you calculate the score. That is okay, that is important. But most important is that how you are implementing formative assessments, how you are taking the assessments as a ladder to take the students to a greater height of attainment. Isn't it? So the assessment is not to evaluate, not purely to evaluate, but to help them to understand their weaknesses, fix it, and take them to higher level. It should be like an engine. It should be like an engine that drives learning. Okay, so this that obviously we can come to our normal presentation track. So now just some formalization on the different components. In the previous slide, we have gone through different components like what you could say the program educational objectives, program outcomes, course outcomes. So some verbal consolidation regarding that is here. Obviously, program educational objective, the only odd man in this outcome-based family, because we have to start with what is the goal. Educational goal. Goal means looking forward. This is the only futuristic thing. So the goal means these are the broad statement that focuses on the goal on post completion of the program. That is when the student pass out of the students, he have to lead a successful personal life. He have to be a worthy member of the community. He have to be a productive member of the society. we have to work in a career platform and contribute for the development of this society likewise. So these are the goals that an educational system focuses. We are teaching them different subjects, okay, that is good, but ultimately all these will flow into these broader goals, isn't it? So all these things are done. The students are pursuing all the curricular activities in order to make them successful, isn't it? To find a space in the career platform likewise. So the goals are focuses on the post completion. So they are estimated. So we won't get the real estimate on how well they are in lines with the educational goals. That will be assessed through the indirect assessments or survey that we collect from the students, those who have passed out, either from the employer, how well they are, these the students who are passed out of our institutions, how well they are doing in their workspace, the survey from the employer, the alumni survey, all these things are the indicator on whether the students are going in a better way. If not, what are the areas of the weaknesses that should be identified and brought into the curriculum for rectifying it for the upcoming students. So this is what the program educational objectives means. And going into, this is just a dummy program educational objectives that I've just written. The first program education objective is the career and higher studies. That is when an undergraduate student passing out of the your institution, probably he will be focusing on getting into a good placement, a career. The placement is one of the biggest priority after completing a program. So after completing the program, if the students are not able to get into a placement, that means the program that you have given is a failure. So the focus is one of what is the focus? First focus, definitely they have to find a space in their career. They have to get a good opportunity, a good employment, or sometimes they will be interested to go into some specializations, isn't it? Higher studies, post graduations, or research, or something like that. So the graduates will be able to demonstrate competency and leadership to become professional employees or entrepreneur, or coming to a higher level of some entrepreneur, so that he is able to give some occupation to the others, or for a leading to a successful career or pursuing higher education. So one goal can be like that. The second goal is that we have to live in and with the society, isn't it? So environmental and social accountability, social responsibility. So graduate will be able to demonstrate commitment towards preservation of environment and sustainable development of society. Okay, so sustainability is very important. So whatever developmental programs that they get into, they should take into consideration that there are at many generations to come, so that we have to keep our environment healthy and wealthy for the coming generations. So such attitude should be developed in the students. Otherwise, what definitely they will totally they will totally destroy that environment and leave anything for them. So that should be brought into our social responsibility, because we have got a social commitment. So such things has to be integrated into the students' attitude through these programs. Or innovations and lifelong learning. Definitely, we know that everything has been keeping change is happening, not in the pace of a change, but in an explosive pace. So definitely, they should be able to keep in lines with the changes. So these are the program educational goals. Obviously, I've just taken a dummy only, and obviously, I told that in that figure, this is the figure which I've shown here, the vision and mission, the program educational goals. We have listed 3 goals, and the program outcomes should be derived from the program educational objectives or the educational, what you could say, goals. So how can we derive? program outcomes from program educational objectives. It is not every teacher's business. It is the role of the institution. Institution should decide. The management should decide all these things. The program educational outcomes, etc. So, what is how it has come? As I've told, the program educational objectives are educational goals, and program outcomes are those competencies. I repeat, those competencies that enable the students to attain that program, the educational goals. If the educational goals is employment, those competencies that help them to take up an career or employment in their sector, isn't it? So that is what you could say program outcomes. So I have taken the first step, PEO. The students will demonstrate competency and leadership to become professional employee and entrepreneur to a successful career and pursue higher education. Okay. Suppose if this is our educational goal, then from your opinion, what are the essential competencies that will help them to successfully accomplish this educational goal? You can put it in chat, because now it is high time that I didn't ask anything to you. What all competencies you think is important? What all competencies you think is important for the actualization of this educational objective? I'm just looking into the chat. Yeah, leadership skill is there. Obviously, the leadership skill. Yes, communication skill, knowledge, teamwork, lifelong learning. My God, I don't think that there is need to explain it all these things in minute detail, because you are very good team, very good group, very good group. So this is how program outcomes take its birth. Suppose you have written communication competence or communication skill. What is communication skill? The communication skill means they should be able to read, write, comprehend, express their official correspondence in what you could say through different medias in life and workspace, if I am elaborating it like that. So communication skill was the competency. I am writing it in terms of what the students are capable of do with respect to that competency. Then I will say that this is program outcome. The communication skill written in verbal form on what they are able to do with respect to that communication skill. Technically, that communication skill, we call it as graduate attribute, and what they're able to do with that communication skill, we call it as the program outcome. Both are same. Program graduate attribute will be the embryo or the seed, and the communication skill, what the students are capable of doing with that. Now I think it is clear. So these are the different graduate attribute. You have given more than this. These are the different graduate attribute which is given by UGC, just like a buffet, and ask them, you can take the graduate attribute which is appropriate to your program educational objectives and your vision and mission according to the programs that you give. It's just like a buffet, isn't it? Knowledge, domain knowledge, disciplinary knowledge, isn't it? Domain knowledge and disciplinary knowledge is little broader than domain knowledge. Obviously, domain knowledge comes inside the disciplinary knowledge. Then communication skill, critical thinking, problem solving, analytical skill, research related skills, cooperation, teamwork, scientific reasoning. Where did this come from? They have come from the topmost educational goals, isn't it? And for these engineering colleges, definitely they have got 12 PUs, which is given by NBA, which is taken from which is taken from this globally. isn't it? So they have no freedom to change it. But from the arts and science colleges, we are being given permission to choose this these graduate attributes according to the nature of our programs and our program. Because for NBA, it is from Washington Accord, that 12, because the members who are in that particular group who are signed in that Washington Accord, they have given a common graduate attribute for the technical educations, isn't it? And they have to insist to adopt outcome-based education. That means the education focusing on these program outcomes. So the good part is that those who are having tier 1 accreditation from NBA, the students from such an colleges can take their higher educations without any prerequisites from these institutions. So there's a global from the institutions of these countries who have been there in the Washington Accord. So there is a global mobility, isn't it? They can take there is a global equivalence on these engineering programs, and also they can that is do half the courses from India and half the courses from any of USA or any of these countries who are in the Washington Accord. Okay, so here in the arts and science colleges, we have a set of and this is not a consolidated list. You can, if there is something beyond this, you can add that also. So just in order to make it complete, I'm just making a verbal statement. Verbal statement here. We know that here we have got what knowledge part is there, communication skills, all these things are there. This moral ethics, leadership qualities, all these things are attitude, isn't it? So we have all these program outcomes can be either in the form of knowledge, or it can be in the form of skills, what they are capable of doing, isn't it? The communication skills, the problem solving skills, analytical research related skills. It can be in the form of skills, or it can be in the form of attitude, isn't it? The moral, the ethics, isn't it? So all these things are the attitude. So it can be in any of these forms. So this is what in yesterday's class you have learned about Bloom's taxonomy 3 levels. Not 3 levels, domains. Isn't it? Cognitive is something related to knowledge. Then affective is something related to the attitude. And what you could say, psychomotor is something related to the skills. So that is the 3 dimensions of the human personality, which is being categorized by Bloom's. And education is a process of nurturing these 3 domains, improving your intellectual ability through knowledge, improving your this attitude through value systems, and making you skillful through the psychomotor domain. So that is your personality. These are the 3 levels which is been highlighted in the previous segment. So now coming here, why I have gone and said is that the program outcomes PO refers to that knowledge. It can be domain knowledge, discipline knowledge, skills, communication skills, attitude, ethics, isn't it? So these are the 3 forms. These are the 3 forms. These are the 3 forms of competencies. The program outcome could be 3 pillars of 3 competencies. The program outcomes could be classified. The student should have at the end of the program. So program outcomes are those particular knowledge, skill, and attitude which every student should attain when they pass out of their college on completion of the program. That is the program outcome. So in an outcome-based education, this program outcome is prefixed. The first day when they come to the college, we are giving them these program outcomes and say that after 3 years or 4 years, when you move out of the college, you will be proficient in these competencies to certain level. So the end point, what will happen in the end, is taken first, showcased, and all the activities that is performing in that college throughout the semesters will be in line with these program outcomes. So program outcomes, we say these are common graduate attributes, which is common to all programs, whether it is science, whether it is arts, whether it is commerce, whether it is etc. etc. Program specific is that there are some specific program related, because a literature student should have some specific ability in communications. A computer science graduate should have some special ability in computations and related allied fields. A student in media and fine arts should have some specific ability other than common graduate attribute. So that is called program specific outcomes. So together, program outcomes and program specific outcomes are the outcomes that every students should able to attain. Program outcomes common to all, and program specific outcomes is specific to that specific program that they are doing. Obviously, you will be knowing all, but so this is these are some of the biggest program outcomes of Marian College. I'm associating currently as the director of educational research at Marian College. These are the, what you could say, the program outcomes. So you'll be wondering, what is this? When a student pass out of the Marian College, they will be given a scorecard of both their academical attainment in that is the how much marks they have scored for each papers. In addition with that, what is their level of attainment with respect to each competency is also given, isn't it? So what is the level of attainment with respect to this is the scorecard of a single student, because we have already told them that is on completion of the program, while you leave out of this college, definitely you will be that is having that is a targeted level of these competencies in domain knowledge, in communication skill, proficiency in using modern this modern technologies. Likewise, teamwork, self-directed learning will be having a special level. So while the end, it is important for you to calculate what is the level of attainment in these competencies, and whether what you have given them at the first day that you will be living, you will be attaining such a level of competencies, isn't it? Whether they have attained, because all that activities are targeted to this, and throughout these semesters, through the different courses, we are estimating the level of attainment with respect to these competencies. So here, the maximum score will be 3. So out of 3, 2.3. Out of 3, 2.3, 1.8. 1.8 means 60%. 2.7, that means 90%. Isn't it? Out of 3, 2.7 divided by 3 into 100. It will be 90%. Like that, we are putting the just like our NAC accreditation will be having score out of 4. Just like that, all the this what you could say that PO level attainment of single student, the second student they will be having, and also we can have a heat map, that is those who have scored 70% and above. 70% out of 3 means 70% out of 3 means 2.1. Those who have scored 2.1 and above is high achievers. Those who have scored 50% and above, 50% above 50% and below 70%, that is moderate. And those who have scored less than 50% is low achievers. And in an outcome-based scenario, we have to ensure that all of them have attained that particular level. At least our target is, if it is 50, all of them should have attained that particular level. So what is the advantage of this is that this is what, for an employer, no employers will go and check out what is the marks he scored in this paper, what is the marks he scored in this paper, and overall aggregate they will be looking. But for them, What is important is that how well they can communicate. If I am looking for a marketing executive, isn't it? How well they are able to use the modern technologies. So with respect to the job requirement, I'll be able to filter out who is the right person. Because this is equivalent to an authentic profile the institution is given to the students after having observing him closely for about 4 years. Normally what the curriculum or the resume that the student prepare is something is prepared by them, showcasing what are the certifications that they've taken or what are the skill sets they have. But this is something authorized, authentic thing that is given by an institution. So definitely this should be valid, because the most important thing for an assessment tool is that it should be valid. That is, it should assess what is intended to measure. Suppose if the communication competence I have given 2.7, that means 90%, and this guy is been appointed as a marketing executive at a top level, and if this guy is he have to make a lot of correspondence like that. So he's been recruited to a position where he have to make a lot of correspondence, isn't it, as a public relation officer, etc. And suppose if this guy is not even able to write a single letter correctly, or if he's not able to write his name properly, but you're giving 2 points, what is the effect? It is not the students who is been blacklisted, it is the college will be blacklisted, because they will be telling that they are simply putting marks. All the assessments are inflated. Assessment inflation means giving them more mark than desired to make them happy, as well as to publish that we have got good result. Inflation. So when they come to the realities, and if they are not performing according to what you are giving, because you are giving marks not to, you are giving score not to technical marks, but to their psychological constructs. And if it is misleading, definitely that will backfire on you. So what I would like to say is that you can give it, you can keep it as a record for you to assess whether everything is being going in the right track. Okay, that's fine. But when you're giving it as a certificate, you have to ensure its validity, isn't it? Otherwise, your college will come in the blacklist, and no one from your institutions will be preferred. Students who are coming with high scores from your institutions will say that, oh, these are all inflated marks, inflated scores, and they don't have that, isn't it? So this is something important. This could be given as a certificate only when your assessment system is matured enough and becomes valid according to their real time performance. And coming to the course outcomes, and I think, okay, I'll just conclude it earlier. Course outcomes. So program level outcomes, when it is delimited to the course level, what the students are capable of doing on completion of the course, we call it as the course outcomes. Isn't it? It is the resultant, before it is the resultant knowledge, skills, and attitude the student should attain on completion of the entire program, 6 semester or 8 semester. Now, every course, a semester may be having 5 to 6 or 7 courses may be there. Every courses will be having a set of outcomes, 5 to 6 outcomes will be there, isn't it? And what does that outcome depict? That is, when the students complete this course, then they should be able to know and do what is showcased in the particular course. And these course outcomes obviously will be in lines of the program outcomes. If it is not in the lines of program outcomes, it will not find a place in that program, isn't it? That is how that formulation has been happening. And here, for the course level outcomes, the program outcomes and program specific outcomes are done at the department level. Program outcomes are done at the institutional level. But the course outcomes, the responsibility of the course outcomes framing as well as actualizing rest on the teachers. So a little detailing on that is needed. So the course outcome is a major domain-specific outcome written using action verbs which are specific, measurable, and can be demonstrated. So when we say that course outcomes, obviously on completion of the course, the students will what the students are capable of doing. So while writing the course outcome, what you have to showcase is that the course outcome should be well drafted. The course outcome has got a structure, not simply a statement that gives some verbal explanation on what the students are capable of doing. Every course outcome should keep that format of an outcome, the format of an outcome. In that format, the star component is the action verb. Action verb. Probably the last day's class was exclusively on the action verbs, Bloom's action verbs. The action verbs will say at what level you are taking the students, to what level you are taking the students. That is, if you are taking that, you know that the learning happens in a hierarchy. The students will first remember, and then they will try to understand the meaning, understanding level. Once they understand, they will apply it in a new scenario application. And then after applications, they will develop the competencies to deal this in a complex situations, where a complex situation they will be splitting it into component parts, apply the knowledge, their learned knowledge in the different parts, and find that association, isn't it? If you want to compare, you have to compare it with the different. So that is analytical level. And then to the next level, judgment, and to the creating level. So if you are placing an outcome, at an application level, that is applying, solving, if you're putting an such and such verbs, what can you say? This outcome is a mediocre outcome that takes the students to an application level. If you're taking an outcome from an appraise or evaluate, then what can you say? You are taking the students to a higher level, evaluation level. So every outcome should showcase what? Should showcase the Bloom's level. Because in further level, if you want to map the learning activity with the outcome, we can compare these verbs, which is implicit in the learning activity, and the verb which is there in the outcome. You can compare them and say whether it is strongly addressing. If both are coming at the same level, strongly addressing. If the learning activity is much down, we can say that it is much less. If it is moderate, okay, likewise you can judge the strength of connection, isn't it? So action verb is important. So this is the formula for writing an outcome. You can just read. For every module, we have to list down the course outcome. You know, and obviously all the courses that you are handling will be having course outcomes or topic level outcomes very clear, so that the students will have a clarity on. Because the outcome-based education is all about transparency. That is, the students will have a clarity on what they are capable of doing on successful completion of the module. Just like giving them a catalog. If you are doing the course from this college, definitely you will be able to actualize these outcomes, isn't it? Because now we know we are with this ABC, this academic credit bank, and now we have got a lot of flexibility. There is no need to take a course entirely from one college. You can have multiple college options. So obviously, the student can come to a college not for a course, but it can come for not for a program, but they can come for a course, isn't it? So in future, definitely the quality will go into the course level, isn't it? Now as such, we can say that, okay, this college is doing well. Later, the quality will be judged on the basis of the courses. This course from this college is the best. And what is the catalog that showcase what the students gain if you take that course from that particular college? That is showcased in that outcome. And not only outcome, there will be a review also. Because transparency is important. Review also. Suppose if the students completing the program from here, course from there, and say that it is only showcase, but nothing has been happening in reality, then definitely everything will go down. So outcomes and the review both should be very important. If you want to get good review, you should be able to attain that particular outcomes in the best way, because everywhere we know that feedback from the students is important. Every time, because they are here at Marian College, we are conducting academic audits, taking inputs from the teachers, what they're doing, from the student, what they give, like that, whether there is a gap. A lot of things has been happening in this way to facilitate outcome-based education in the right way, to pitch it in the right way. So suppose this is an outcome statement at a foundation level. Foundation level, this is a just please, sorry, I'm just having severe cold. Please excuse me. Describe the relationship between the forms and functions of human heart in a oral presentation. So this is the activity which I've given. And what is the outcome of that activity? That is, on completion of that activity, the students are going to make some presentation about the functions of the heart, of human heart. So on completion of that presentation, what is been, that is not a course outcome, just a simple outcome. Not a simple outcome. What is this is a micro outcome. I'm just giving a section. I want the students to make some collateral learning with respect to the functions of the art and make a presentation. So before giving an assignment or a presentation, whatever thing, I have to showcase an outcome which is related to my course outcome. And this is the outcome which I have been giving. Describe the relationship between the forms and functions of human art in an oral presentation. This is what I want the students to attain. The students should be able to describe. Here, you can write, by the end of this lesson, the students will be able to, this is the step. This is the step. What is the action verb? Describe. The students should be able to describe or explain or illustrate. All these verbs are at the second level. All these verbs are at the second level. If I say define, list, it is at the first level. So what is, if I write this outcome from the verb, what will I able to say? That is, from this activity, I am taking the students to what height? To an understanding level. So the verb showcased in the outcome shows to what level that particular section is taking the students in the learning ladder. And what is the learning component relationship between the between the forms and functions of human art? That is the learning content, isn't it? That is specifically showcased. And what is the context in an oral presentation? Isn't it? The context that you are giving is an oral presentation. So putting to them together gives you a clear-cut verbal statement of an outcome. So the first statement is covered by the end of that particular section, whatever it may be. What is the outcome? Describe. Verb. Bloom's taxonomy, understanding level. Relationship between, that is what, suppose if you're teaching about principles of management, the learning topic or content should be showcased. And if you are fixing it a context, you can put the context there. That is there. If you are writing the outcome without the context, it is an open. It can be something, an explanation or a debate or some types of chart presentation, or whatever it may be. So this is an oral presentation, is there, isn't it? So what is here? These are, every outcome should be smart. Smart in the sense specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound. So when you are fixing these outcomes, these things should be there in your mind. So now I am just asking you to write not a course outcome, an outcome related to a topic that you're going to teach. Suppose you are going to teach the principles of organization, or suppose you are going to teach Ohm's law, or suppose you are going to teach the principles of democracy, or suppose if you are going to teach the tenets of idealism. Okay, any teaching topic that you're going to. Suppose if you are going to teach WOOPS concepts, isn't it? Object-oriented programming, or whatever area. Suppose if you are going to teach on linear programming, development of a model. Okay, so what micro outcome that you will write with respect to the previous lines? Isn't it? Verb, learning statement, and context. You can just write it. I don't ask you to put it in chat. The next statement, you can correct it off by yourself. I'll just give you 1 minute, because a small topic you're going to take, or you can take the topic that you have taken last, in your class, and you can write a not course outcome, micro outcome that related to the particular class. Probably, I think it will be done. Okay. So now, I don't say that it is wrong. But if you are using verb, understand, appreciate, know, study, learn, realize, isn't it? Before we have written describe. Instead of describing, if I say understand, appreciate, cover, all these words, isn't it? If you are writing micro outcome, because the outcome should be observable, isn't it? The outcome should be observable. Outcome should be observable in the sense the outcome itself should be an indicator of whether he has attained that particular thing you are focusing. Suppose if I says that in our previous slide, that the student instead of describes, what was that? Describe the relationship between the forms and functions of human heart. Suppose if I write, understand the relationship between the forms of function and human heart. Are they observable? Does it say what the students are capable of doing? Understand means, okay, something that has happened. In order to check whether it is understand, you have to identify an indicator. When you are writing micro outcomes, the outcome itself should be the indicator. This is the biggest thing. If you are writing program level, okay, no issues, because you are not directly measuring program outcomes. You are calculating program outcomes from the lower level. That is the course level outcomes integrated together, and you will calculate program outcomes. You will filter out what all course level outcomes connected to the particular program, integrate it and calculate. So program, the outcome itself should be the indicator. Here, describe the relationship between. That means it is for you to check whether the students are describing, whether the students are explaining. Isn't it? That is observable. That is it. Specific, measurable, and observable. Only measurable means, observable means measurable. That is, you are measuring what is showcased. Isn't it? So that is something very important. So this is, if I write appreciate, if I write cover, if I write learn, the outcome will not showcase what the students are capable of doing. If I write explain, if I write illustrate, it is for me to check whether they are able to illustrate. Isn't it? This is something you have to take into consideration. That is why the outcome should be written in such verbs. And you would have got a list of verbs for framing in the previous sections. And I would say that the outcome itself will take the form of a question, isn't it? After teaching that topic, functions of art, you will ask them describe. That particular question is being prefixed as the outcome. This is what I want the students to attain, isn't it? So the outcome will be the most glorified, isn't it? Glorified question that can evolve out the maximum level, isn't it? And so that is why when we are comparing our activities with these outcomes, we can very easily connect it, isn't it? So just a small comparison. The student understand democracy. How do I know that whether they understand? I say describe major theories of democracy. It is for me to check whether they are able to describe the major theories of democracy. The outcome itself is an indicator, isn't it? So the students will study about the impact of cultural diversity. Study about. We do not say what they're capable of doing. The students evaluate the impact of cultural diversity on nurturing care. That is, they are, so what they should be capable of doing, they should be able to impact. They should be able to evaluate the impact. The other one also is written in a verbal form, but it is not a good outcome. Similarly, the students will learn about the principles, learn about what they're capable of doing, explains the principles of drug formulation and delivery system. So the outcome. So let me ask a question. Suppose if you want to prepare an evaluation question or question paper in an outcome based scenario, what will you refer first? The syllabus, content, topic, etc., etc. You put I want the syllabus before me. What will you ask? You can put it. Yeah, you are so good. I appreciate it, because outcome, you are teaching the students to attain the outcome. So for preparing an assessment question, why are you going elsewhere? The outcome itself is the question. The outcome itself is the question. So don't go here and there and identify, I want to put question. If the outcome based education in its finest form is, the outcome should evolve as the question. The questions should be different use cases of the outcome. The question should be evolved from the outcome, not from the text of syllabus or something like that. So that is an outcome based educational scenario that should evolve, because ultimately you are preparing them for outcomes, and you want to ensure whether they are able to perform in the lines of outcomes. So if you want to check it, outcomes should be coming out. So you are preparing very big question bank, multiple, all these question banks should be evolved from the outcome, isn't it? That is. So we are concluding it, the quality check of a good outcome. The quality check of a good outcome. I'm very happy with this group, because you are very dynamic, you are attentive, and you are in the lines of what I want you to attain. So definitely the outcome of from your assessments, from your feedbacks, I understand that what I have intended is being attained. So the quality check, are they written using action verb, which is taken from Bloom's taxonomy. So whether the action verb are definite and observable, explain, okay, understand is not clearly observable. We have to identify some other things, how to assess understanding. So direct observable. Does the language describe the student target rather than the teacher behavior? Isn't it? While reading the outcome, you should think, what does it imply? If it implies what the students are capable of doing, okay, it is good. Do the outcome clearly describe the ability, knowledge, and value of the students of the course? Isn't it? So while writing an outcome, isn't it? Before we have written the outcome, describe what? That is the knowledge part he is gaining. Isn't it? The functions, the relationship between the forms and functions of art. That is the learning part. Isn't it? Suppose if you are fixing an outcome with respect to some attitude, that should, some specific abilities, that should come into the outcome. Isn't it? What they have gained. So this attitude, that outcome should clearly depict the abilities and knowledge that the student should gain, isn't it? Probably when you're writing outcomes related to subject, that learning component should be showcased. And the final thing is that, is it possible to collect accurate and reliable data for the outcome? That is your responsibility. How will you identify it? Not only the final data, isn't it? While you are teaching, then and there, you have to evaluate. That evaluation is called formative evaluation. That is done not to give them mark, but to take them along with you to the outcome. Isn't it? If the students are responding in a wrong way, then definitely you should give some more examples to make the things clear, to take them to the outcome. So for you and the student, the outcome is the destination and target. So select those activities, those examples, and what all thing you could integrate so that you can go hand in hand to attain that particular outcome, isn't it? And every time, suppose if you're going for a tour, if there is no GPS, isn't it? If you're going through an unfamiliar road, then and there you will ask some persons around there whether your route is correct. If it is not correct, what happened? They told that, oh, you have to deviate. You have come about 2 kilometers ahead. You have to deviate before reaching here. So what you will do? You will not go straight. You will come back and take the right path. So that questioning, that asking the persons whether you are on the right track, that is formative evaluation. So while teaching, then and there, you have to ask questions to the students to check whether they are coming in lines with you. If not, what is the difficulty should be identified from these questions. Formative evaluation. Fix it. Take them together. That is how that outcome-based education classes should progress. We are not making about classes, strategies, methods, intervention programs. Nothing is being discussed here because it is something after that should come after that. So some sample outcomes. Apply, that is the verb. What is the learning statement? Laws of physics, like that. Explain the various principles of organizations. Select advertisements. Obviously, this will be there in what you could say your LMS. Okay. So I think its time is going up. So this is one, what you could say, one task related to that. You can write your outcome code. This is an Excel sheet which is prepared by me. This is the explain democracy. Check one. What is check one? Is it true? Then you can, there is a, if it is not true, you can put it as no. There is a drop down, you can put no. Okay, second check. Does the language like that? Okay, so if it is like this, what happens? This is automated. The outcomes needs improvement, isn't it? So, so if you're improving, if it is S, again outcomes needs improvement because the first check is not correct. If it is there, if it is S, yeah, it's a good outcome. So this is a quality check of the outcome. These are the 4 criteria which is there. So you can write each outcomes here and you can select whether it is in lines with this quality. And if all are 4, that means your outcome is good. And if any of them is not, if probably the first thing can be problematic, because sometimes absolute verb may not be there in the outcome. If it not, you can rework on that and make some corrections in that outcomes, and in the next your time for revision of outcomes, you can accommodate that, because the final quality of the entire sections of your classes will be in lines with outcome. The outcome is the hero in outcome-based education. So if outcome is weak, definitely whatever activities connected to that will become weak. If outcome is strong, definitely you will succeed it in a very good way. So that is all for today's segment. I think okay, and now I think I didn't go beyond 9. So that's all. So now I think you can, if there is any queries, you can put it. Over to you, Sijin, for if there is any queries also. There, Sijin, I've completed my section, and if you have anything to be taken in this, so you can take it, or if they're putting some queries in the forums, we could answer it there.
Okay, if there are no questions, we will go on to our last session. That is going to be the word of thanks and the gist of learning, which will be taken by Dr. Norma Rebello, HOD Pharmacy and St. John of St. John's Institute of Pharmacy and Research. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Sunil Job has delivered a wonderful session, and I'm sure all the participants were not just enjoying the discussion points, but also were involved during the discussion. They were actually putting up their queries, which helped to clear their doubts. So thank you so much, sir. To just provide a gist of this session, sir commenced the session with discussing the significance of OBE through an eye-opener chat, that was the fallacy of the education system. So highlighted with an example, the educational objectives, the priorities in OBE, that is to get the students qualify the benchmark rather than focusing on the highest scorer. That is what the students learn. And that was really very interesting to know, sir. OBE as a model for education that deviates from the traditional focus. This was the highlight of the session, wherein we as faculty members need to understand our role in this current scenario. Further, sir highlighted about the multitasking faculty, the need of the faculty role, and also ensure that the traditional pattern need to be broken and we need to come up with our innovative way of teaching. Sir, through a very well framed top to bottom kind of format, explain the framing of program education objectives from our vision mission statement, followed by the POs, COs, and also further going towards the learning outcomes. The session truly helped us learn the fundamental concepts of OBE, and this sessions basically will be ultimately correlated to the objectives of the NEP, that is to facilitate OBE. So thank you so much, sir, for this wonderful session. We now conclude the day 2 of the FDP. See you tomorrow for the third session, Underlying Threads of OBE, Generative AI in Teaching by Dr. Suresh Nambutri. Stay tuned with the same enthusiasm. Good night. Greetings from St. John Technical and Educational Campus, Palghar, Maharashtra, and IPSR Solutions Limited. Thank you so much.
So thank you. Thank you from our part. Thank you all for being much interactive. That has boosted my energy. thank you for the thanks. You have noted all the good points that we have included this section. Thank you for your clear observations. Thank you all and have a pleasant evening. Good night.
Thank you, Dr. Sunil sir. Thank you for that wonderful session. We will see you all tomorrow at 7 p.m. for the session on underlying threads of OBE, generative AI in teaching, which will be taken by Dr. Suresh Nambu. Thank you all. Thank you for taking the time to join this session. We will see you tomorrow. Have a blessed evening.